Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited today. Today is the day that I'm going to reveal to you the results of the 22-day rolling fast challenge. I have been through some ups and some downs, and I'm going to be sharing all of it with you right now, today, in this video. I discovered so much about fasting and health that I cannot wait to share with you. By the end of this video, you're going to have your own tips that you can use, that you will be able to incorporate to create your own fasting challenge. I'm also going to be announcing the next challenge, so you don't want to miss it. So let's get into it. What if I told you in just 22 days that I released nearly 6% of my body weight and I improved my overall health? I am so stoked right now. Y'all just don't know. I'm just saying, what if I told you that? Because I didn't say that's what happened, right? Because we're going to get into that a little bit later on, too. Today, I'm sharing my journey through the Rolling Fast Challenge. And you may be asking, what exactly is a rolling fast? Well, it's the method where you are going to use alternate days. This fasting challenge that I did, it was 2 days on, 2 days off. So I mean 2 days on fasting, 2 days off refeed. So that's alternate day. You can structure it any way you like, but it's just alternate days that you eat and you don't eat. And your body can burn up fat. And it can be structured different ways. So a rolling fast can be structured in so many different ways. I got a video that I go more in detail on, and it's called Discover the Top Fasting Techniques for Maximum Health. So you can check that video out. It's going to be attached to the end of this video in the playlist of the 22-day fasting challenge playlist. So check that out. As someone who has struggled with food addiction, and I know how it feels and the challenges that you go through. I just released the video about food addiction. We listen, but we don't judge. You can check that out too. You can see that video here. Knowing the challenges that you have through a food addiction, trying to break free from unhealthy eating patterns, and when food becomes like a source of comfort, stress relief, or even just how to cope with your emotions, man, I'm telling you, I knew I needed to take control over my relationship with food and make my health a priority. So this is why I decided to create this 22-day rolling fast challenge to help me reset my eating habits. Also, I needed to get control over my body again and my cravings that I would have. And it allows you to reset it when you do go into a fasting state. So I knew it worked. It worked for me before, and I knew it would work again. And so I just wanted to challenge myself, hold myself accountable, and kind of go and step outside my comfort zone. Because, once you get to doing a habit or making something a habit, it becomes that your way of life, the way you do things. So I'm trying to create new habits, explore different ways to nourish my body without the constant pull of the food addiction being something that looms and hangs over my head. So here's a quick breakdown of my daily routine in this challenge on both fasting days and eating days. My rising routine would consist of me getting out of bed, taking some deep breaths, just kind of getting myself in tuned with the day. I would ground myself and make sure that I was present with what was going on around me, knowing that, not thinking about what's going to happen later on or what's going to happen, in a few minutes, but being present in the moment that I'm in. I would remind myself why I'm doing the challenge anyway. Things like improving my health and gaining clarity. Also, I kept a glass of water next to my bed. So when I would rise, I would be able to drink that water. I would speak intentions into the water because water holds memory. So I would speak things of positive nature so that when I consume the water and the water hold memory, your brain and your heart are composed of about 73% water. But I'll go deeper into that in another video another time. If you're interested, leave a comment in it. We could talk about that as well. But that's something that I do. Then, as I mentioned to you, I do some stretching. The most physical activity I would do is go for a walk in the rising, unless it was snowing. And that's a side joke. I did a video about the surprise and unexpected snowfall because I live in North Carolina. Kind of a side note here. I did a video about that, and I canceled my morning walk, but because I couldn't believe that it was snowing. But usually I'm walking though. You know, I'm definitely typically walking. But you can check that video out too. It's on my channel. Now, my rising ritual wakes my body up and it clears my mind. It keeps me present in my current, like present in my current state of what is going on, and it keeps me clear. Now, on my eating days, let's talk about that. On my eating days, I typically are very excited. I'm very excited about lunchtime. I usually eat about 2:30ish. That's just my regular eating window. Even when I'm eating on a regular basis, I do intermittent fasting. I'm usually eating around 2:30ish. I'm excited about lunch because that's the one time when I'm actually doing the one thing I like to do, which is eat. But instead of just eating anything, I pick out healthy meals. So I prepare healthy meals. Typically, to break my fast, I would eat raw. And I did a couple of videos about some different raw meals that I made. So you can watch the videos for that. It also will be attached in the playlist for the 22-day rolling fast challenge as well. Now, so when I'm eating, I'm also being mindful about the food that I'm putting into my body. I'm being present with it. I'm thinking about the food that I'm putting into my body and how it's going to react inside my body, how it's going to go, what is it doing? Is it nourishing my body? Is it something that's good for me? It just reinforces my commitment to making healthier choices when I'm present, when I'm eating my food. When I do mindful days, I'm doing things like reading, research, content creation, things like that to keep me occupied. Now, in the evening or at night, when I wind down, I like to practice relaxation techniques. These are like listening to healing music, relaxing sounds like rain, things like that. Maybe even listening to 432 hertz, which is a healing frequency of music. And I try to keep a consistent bedtime where I get enough rest because your body needs that time to recover overall. However, it can be difficult when you fasted because you get insomnia. I talked about that quite a few times in the different videos throughout this fast. How you definitely can be caught up staying up all night long. Whatever your personal preference and schedule is, you don't have to keep it the same way I did. You don't have to do the things that I do. This is just how I do it. And also, as that disclosure, please note that I am not giving medical advice. I am not a doctor. Before you engage in any of this, you definitely should consult a doctor. It hasn't been butterflies and roses during this fast 22-day rolling fast challenge. There has been some hiccups and challenges. And as we know, an eating disorder, as having a food addiction, can be hard when you get to emotional things that cause you to eat due to emotional stress and things like that. So I did encounter that during this 22-day rolling fast challenge, as I had some situations that arose and I did fall off. On one of the days where I was fasting, I did end up eating. And it was truly to comfort myself. I wasn't as strong as I should have been in that situation. However, what I like the most is even though that happened, it's just to show you that you can fall down, but you get up. Something can happen and you still can continue. I didn't let that one thing determine the whole outcome. And a lot of times in my experience, what I have done that before. I talk about quite a bit about giving yourself permission. I did give myself permission to eat on a fasting day. But even when I ate, the crazy part about it is I didn't feel better. And that's what I have to realize. Eating does not make you feel better. You think that it makes you feel better. Because when I ate it, I actually felt worse. Because I knew that at once, one, I had broken my fast. Two, I wasn't even really hungry, but I ate it because that's where I find my comfort. So therefore, when going through the fast, that was one of my downfalls. That was one of my, I told you there was some ups and downs, and that's definitely one of my downs. One other challenge I have, I speak highly about the sleeping and going to sleep and having a regular sleeping regimen. As a content creator, I'm up constantly thinking about my next video or what I'm going to talk about next or putting that video together. So therefore, I didn't stick to that as well, the sleeping, as I should. So I have a lot of things that I'm going to incorporate going forward in my forward fast. This is why you document and journal and you keep these things, so that you can reflect and know where you've been, so you can know where you're going and what you're going to do. And so if you didn't like the way that felt, you make sure you write it down and how it made you feel, because you don't want to go back and feel that way again. So other than that, so that's just some of the ups and downs that I did encounter during the 22-day rolling fast challenge. Now, let's get into this. By the end of my 22-day rolling fast, the results is, drum roll please, I did release more than 6% of my body weight. My mental clarity improved significantly, and I was able to reset my eating habits, which were all my goals in going into this. Now, the total benefits that I experienced, and to give you more of an information about how that looks, I released 14.3 pounds, and I reset my relationship with food. As I said, my mental clarity had improved so much that I used to, when I first started doing these videos, I used to, uh, I still do it, but they say when you go, you are summoning in the words. You're trying to remember what to say next. Also, I experienced autophagy, which I also talk about in that fasting video that I was talking about. It gives you cellular repair, cleans up your damaged cells, and so you can generate new ones. Man, the body is so amazing just to know that this has been happening, just to know that this has been happening while I was fasting, that I was regenerating new cells within my body. The body is so amazing. And I had reduced inflammation in my body overall, particularly in my joints and in my feet. Those were the two places that I constantly talked about where my inflammation is usually in my joints and in my feet. I was having like some joint pains in my hip area, in my feet, and they all have subsided. Also, I wish I would have took a before and after of my feet so you could have seen that. I was also able to reset my relationship with food, and that aided with my food addiction, which I've already stated, but I'm just restating it to make it clear. And this is gonna be a little TMI. However, I improved my digestion and I'm regular. I have the urge to release after every meal and in the rising, which is the best digestion you can have, and how your body is designed to work anyway. A lot of times we're so backed up on constantly putting food in our body that we don't even know that our body's supposed to work like that. And these are the things that fasting does. Now, let's talk about my energy levels, right? They are off the chain. I have so much energy. I was feeling lethargic quite a few times, quite a few days, consistently. And now my energy has increased. My mood has improved. I had to go through some stages. I had to go through some stages. I did. However, my mood improved and my stress levels decreased, and even the anxiety, it changed. I was experiencing anxiety, especially when I would have to go to work. I was feeling so much anxiety. And when I had to go to work, it subsided. I didn't even think about it when I'm working my 9 to 5. I talk about it in this other video that I have, though, that I did do, which is talking about how working a 9 to 5 it's impacting my mental health because I wasn't able to control the anxiety and the stress levels, and so I was getting out of touch with what I had taught myself previously. So now, throughout this video, I have given you some tips on how you can start your own fasting journey. I've also want to give you just a few more things that you can consider as well. And one of the things is if you're going to do the fasting journey in any type of fast, you always want to listen to your body. Understand this. Your body going to tell you exactly what it needs, but you got to learn to listen to it. The signals it gives you will be able to recognize being hungry versus just having cravings. You'll be able to make better choices because you will be feeding your body opposed to your cravings. So just listen to your body. Other things that you can do is plan ahead. Prepare meals and snacks in advance. If you're going to do on your fasting days, it's you can make them on your fasting days, and this helps you stick to your eating schedule without temptation. So that if you know that you're doing a rolling fast on the days that you're fasting, create your meals, put everything together so that when you get ready to come off of the fast, you already know what you're getting ready to do, and you don't eating outside the regimen of what would be the best to come off of the fast. Number one, which I should have started with, is always stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water during your fasting periods. It helps curb the hunger. It keeps you feeling energized. And sometimes we drink water. Sometimes we think we're hungry, but sometimes we're just really either thirsty or dehydrated, and that can make you think that you're hungry. And mindfulness is another one. So thinking about when I think about mindfulness, it just brings me back to when I tell you I do mindful eating. Mindfulness is just being present with whatever you're doing. When you're eating your meals, present with your thoughts, present with your intentions. It definitely is where you need to be when you do mindfulness. Mindfulness practices are great. Community support. Community support is awesome because it matters, right? So when it comes down to community, I'm asking you to join our community here at Queen's Alchemy. We're going to be engaging in supporting each other, creating a support system, providing motivation and encouragement. We're going to be making the challenges that we're doing so enjoyable. Can't wait to have somebody come on board and do the challenges with me, right? But even if nobody don't, I always say it. I say it all the time. I created these challenges to help me get back to being healthy, resetting my cravings, things like that. So hopefully, I do get somebody to join in with me. However, also being flexible and adaptable. If you have a rough day or a tough day, don't be hard on yourself. Just get back up, change your mindset, and keep it going. Because if you don't, where you going to end up? Quitting, right? Because you're being hard on yourself. The other thing I talked about quite a bit during this 22-day rolling fast is track your progress. Keep a journal, update, track your experiences, what you did. This helps you keep yourself accountable. It keeps you accountable. It helps you reflect on your journey so you know where you've been, where you're going, and where you want to go, right? So where you've been, what you've been doing, and where you want to go. So you definitely want to use that to reflect on your journey. I have so many different journals over the past 8, 9 months. And we also want to celebrate small wins. This is so big for me. When we celebrate our small wins, the achievements that we make is beyond. No matter how small it is, celebrate it, because this can boost your motivation and keep you focused on the next goal. It'll keep you pushing forward. Even not only on this fasting journey, but even with my content creating, all of that, I celebrate my small wins and it keeps me focused and going. I just don't give up. When it comes down to food, the food that you put in your body, prioritize the food. You choose whole foods. Start thinking about ways that you can incorporate things that you like to eat in a more healthy way. I actually really go into detail and depth with that when I'm talking about the foods that I create. I created a recipe of stuffed cabbage leaves, vegan style stuffed cabbage leaves, and it's just an alternate of something that I used to eat before. I did a video on that. Check that out. Choose foods that are whole to the body, good for the body. Just to reiterate one more time, get your sleep, right? Get your sleep. In order to recover, especially when you're fasting, you want to get your sleep. You want your body to rest and just recover. And that's how you heal. That's how you heal yourself. Just some extra things I added for you that you may be able to apply and help you get along and start your own journey. However, what I also promised is that we're going to get into the next challenge. So I'm glad if you're still here, then that means you need to be getting into this next challenge with me. First, when does the challenge start? January 4th, 2025. So I'm announcing officially there will be a fasting challenge for 30 days. 22 of those days will actually be the fasting. The first 8 days, we are going to be prepping in the first 8 days. And 22 days, we're going to fast without any refeed days. Now, I'm going to go more in detail. I'm doing a whole video about that. I'm going to release that video on New Year's Day, which is January 1. So if you are interested, make sure you check that video out. It may even be a live, but if it is a live, I'm definitely going to have it on a replay so that everyone can get that information. And as you know, the queen has come down 14.3 pounds. I've shaved off about 4 inches off my waist, and I have my mental clarity, and I reset my eating habits. So I reset my relationship with food. These are all my goals that I wanted to achieve. Going into this next fast, this is truly definitely a challenge. The longest continuous fast that I've ever done has only been 12 days consecutively. So this is going to be a true challenge. So if you're looking forward to come and fast with me on January 4th, we're going to start the prep. We'll go through the prep together. I'll give all the information on how the prep works and what you need to do. You must prep if you're going to go into this fast. Again, I disclose, do not go into any type of fasting. If you haven't consulted your doctor, that's my advice. I am not telling you to do it without the advice of a medical professional. We're going to bring this new year in right, and we're going to be getting healthy, stronger, and mental clarity. Just so many things that I look forward to see the results, not only my results, but the results of those around me. We're going to talk quite in depth about what we're going to do, and so we can get started. I'm excited. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.